Hello and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club again on a sunny Sunday morning. And although I have read and posted my thoughts here already on the 2022 FIFA World Cup, it's a lovely sunny Sunday morning and I thought I'd read it again. Argentina, Campeones del Mundo. Argentina 3, France 3. Argentina win 4-2 on penalties. I'd like to think that over the past 26 daily diary entries during this World Cup, I've analysed a particular goal or passage of play, or brought a modicum of the colour and sounds from the partisan fans, the actual fans, who have followed their country, favourite or underdog, through this bizarre December in a faraway desert. But I have no idea where to start with this game, and a game soon to be christened as simply the greatest ever, as considering the enormity of the spectacle that has just taken place, I am still truly struggling to form a justifiable narrative for what we've all collectively witnessed. There's an old English word which I hope translates around the world: bonkers. That's a summation for you. Utterly stone cold, ridiculous, unbelievable, astounding and truly and utterly bonkers. So let's start in the 123rd minute, shall we? For in that minute, that final minute of open play before the lottery of the penalty shootout, France had a golden chance to lift that golden trophy that will soon be winging its way in the hands of Lionel Messi to Buenos Aires, and just a minute or so after Kylian Mbappé had scored a second penalty to complete his hat-trick, a hat-trick in a World Cup final, and just a minute after the Parisians had equalised, again, this time to make an incredible game level, again, at 3-3. We'll return to the exploits of Kylian Mbappé shortly, but the 123rd minute in France, barely in the game in extra time until their talisman equalised again from the penalty spot, they broke away with a minute to go following Ibrahima Konaté's incisive lob pass forward, and substitute Randal Kolo saw his must-be World Cup winning goal brilliantly saved by the left leg of Aston Villa and Argentina goalkeeper Emi Martinez. It was an incredible instinctive save, spreading himself as big and wide as his frame would allow, and I believe it to be the only save he had to make in the entire game, in which he'd largely been a joyous and excited spectator just waiting to get his hands on that golden World Cup trophy. But this wasn't all. To disbelieving eyes all around the Lusail Stadium in the desert of Qatar, as well as the hundreds upon hundreds of millions around the world, Argentina, the team that had majestically already won the World Cup twice, were now immediately breaking on a France team who had clawed their way back into a World Cup final from nowhere, twice, and with Lionel Messi still at the heart of their every move, setting Paulo Dybala free. His cross was headed wide when Lautaro Martinez should have scored a breathless winning goal, and at the end of 125 minutes of football that will go down in the sport's history as one of, if not the, greatest football game of all time, we still had the drama of a penalty shootout. Now that we've started at the end of a World Cup final for the ages, if we return to the beginning, we'll discover that Argentina were spectacularly good this evening. Spectacularly good. So much so, they in effect, and to mix the first of my first sporting metaphors, completely shut out the defending world champions for 70 minutes. For the 2018 champion French team didn't register a single shot on or off target for the entire duration of the first half, and it wasn't until the 70th minute when Kylian Mbappé scored a presentable first chance and shot on goal. 70 minutes of controlled dominance, aggression, superlative skills, tactics and bloody-minded desire to win every second or loose ball, to play a high defensive line, but not only that, but, to steal a basketball phrase, full court press France all over the pitch and, if you allow me one more mixed American sporting analogy, to blitz France at every opportunity. Every time a ball was played forward into the Argentina half of the field, the French player about to receive the ball with his back to goal was simply barged past or eased out of the way by a white and blue striped member of La Albi Celeste. Christian Romero, Nicolás Otamendi, Alexis McAllister and Enzo Fernandez surged into 50-50, damn it, 40-60 balls, and always prevailed, and 4 to 5 passes later, Argentina had supreme control of the game once more, and for 70 minutes they were absolutely majestic. Argentina's forward three of Angel Di Maria, Julian Alvarez and Lionel Messi run the French defensive line ragged at times, and again, whenever a loose or even vaguely loose ball was up for grabs, they stole it back, cycled the ball through those 4 or 5 team passes, and they had complete control of the game again. The template was set by arguably their outstanding player of the tournament, and he has stiff competition from Messi, McAllister and Fernandez in their number 7, Rodrigo de Paul. From the very first minute and tackle of the game, the 28-year-old Atletico Madrid ball winner got in the faces of his midfield opposition, the referee too, and ensured both knew that they were in for a game. He was magnificent all evening as he danced that fine line between those oft-suggested dark arts of winning and the overwhelming burning desire to do just that, to win. To say France didn't have a kick collectively as a team for 70 minutes isn't the grand and outlandish statement it might appear to be. They didn't, and they weren't allowed. Stalwarts, World Cup winners from 2018 and stars from this year's competition, Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud and even Kylian Mbappé were all anonymous, and not only on the fringes of the game but watching a game, a World Cup final, passed by unnoticed before their very eyes. They weren't allowed a kick due to Argentina's relentless press and triangulation of constant attack when without the ball. One of the three, usually the hard-running Julian Alvarez, would gun for the ball determinedly, and with possession won or a mistake generated, his two mates would pounce on either side to steal the loose ball, win a throw-in, or simply press France further and further into their own half of the field. This triangulation of attack without the ball happened time and again throughout the first half, and for 25 minutes of the second, leaving France a loose, limp, full of pecked holes carcass of a team, losing a World Cup final 2-0 without the merest whimper of protest. For 70 minutes, Argentina were incredible. There will be football coaches all around the world of ours scrutinising this evening's first half alone and the tactics employed by the white and light blues winning coach, Lionel Scaloni. There were no dark arts or niggly, snarky, spoiling tactics. It was front foot, full press, win every second ball, and always a daring and risky pass forward between the transitional lines of midfield into attack. More often than not, they're incisive passes that constantly played 2, maybe 3 French players out of the current phase of the game, landed at the feet of their little genius in a number 10 shirt, and Lionel Messi was otherworldly yet again. The ball stuck to him as normal. He beat an opponent and his team would then turn France completely around yet again. But it wouldn't be Argentina if the wheels didn't fall off. From nowhere, and in a game they had securely in their back pocket, and their captain dreaming of lifting that golden trophy in just 10 minutes' time, a sloppy defensive challenge from Nicolás Otamendi on France's best player this evening, Randal Kolo, presented a gift of a penalty for Kylian Mbappé to score, and mere seconds later chaos reigned as sublime football ruled. Mbappé played a 1-2 with Marcus Thuram before crashing a brilliant volley past a despairing dive of Emi Martinez in the Argentina goal, and from nowhere France were level. Mbappé was arguably only really involved in 4 passages of play all evening. He scored every single time, including a hat-trick, and still lost the World Cup final. I could go on. There was the double substitution of Ousmane Dembélé and Olivier Giroud on 40 minutes by French coach Didier Deschamps, as he could see his midfield constantly overloaded, outgunned and outplayed by the addition of Angel Di Maria on the Argentinian left-hand side. His return to the team from injury gave Argentina a constant extra body in midfield, and crucially, his first half performance was out of this world. I have no footballing love whatsoever for Angel Di Maria, but he was exceptional this evening. As was Manchester City's Julian Alvarez with his tireless running, forward press and defending from the front, and let us not overlook the supreme goal of the tournament that was Argentina's second goal. Goal line to goal line in seconds, Messi's touch, Alvarez's through ball, McAllister's run and pass, Di Maria's sweeping finish. Utterly sublime. Randal Kolo was easily France's best player, and the energy and footballing desire injected into the game by fellow substitutes Kingsley Coman, Eduardo Camavinga and Marcus Thuram transformed the game, and arguably could have created the greatest comeback ever as France threatened to score the winner after Mbappe's improbable brace of goals on 80 and 81 minutes. My red Liverpool heart is a little torn at Ibrahima Konaté's defeat, but I pleasingly and selfishly know that colossus of a young central defender will be winning major honours again soon enough. It shall also be noted that Polish referee Szymon Markinek was exemplary this evening. I still feel Argentina's penalty walk was soft, but aside from this, and with the added bonus of not having to consult with the dreaded VAR, I thought he was superb. But the night and the world belongs to Lionel Messi, and I couldn't be more pleased. He has, to use an odious phrase so popular within today's societal vernacular, completed football, and I guess the little genius has now just done that. He's won every possible honour imaginable, and I'm not going to call him the GOAT, as goats live in fields, and Messi lives amongst the stars. I'm a football romantic, and I've loved the evocative white and blue stripes of Argentina since a photo of me from 1978, their horrible snarky team of 1982, and the maelstrom of madness that surrounded Diego Armando Maradona. The little genius has joined the little master. I could go on, but I've ripped up my notes on a game that rewrote records galore, and who needs notes for a game such as this? I'm a football romantic, and I've loved watching every minute of that bonkers game of football, and I've loved penning these diaries too. As you will recall, I originally planned to follow France and France alone, following a random number selection and a secret ballot with my son, but I got swept up in the intoxicating escape of writing a diary on every game watched and every underdog cheered for. Rather than writing a maximum of 7 articles on France and their route to the final, or of their victors, I instead penned 27 daily diary entries that I truly had fun with writing. I sincerely thank you for taking the ride with me, and I hope you've enjoyed the rambling tale told. I watched this evening's final with my beautiful son beside me, as well as looking upon me in utter astonishment as I celebrated Argentina's majestic second goal. To say I got rather excited would be an affront to how I really celebrated Messi's second goal. Don't cry for me, Emmanuel Macron, I sang on Twitter. Campeones, Argentina, I sang to a bemused son. Professor Horseman, PhD in football appreciation, messaged me throughout the game as he's done throughout the World Cup and long into a distant footballing past. He knows a game of football when he sees one, and he called this evening a spectacle. And that it was. Argentina, Campeones del Mundo. Couple of stumbles, not too bad. It's a sunny Sunday morning. I enjoyed reading that. I enjoyed writing it all those months ago. Oh, that makes me sound incredibly narcissistic. Blimey. What's new? I leave you in peace, and I leave you in solidarity. And I sincerely thank you for watching. There'll be links below. And no, thank you for watching.